My name is Simon Schur, and welcome to this tutorial on utilizing your breath to improve your stretching. Now, stretching is scary to many people. People don't understand exactly what's going on in your body when you stretch. That's because there's a lot of autonomic things happening. That's things that are controlled by your body's kind of auto drive system. You're breathing. When you breathe and you're not thinking about it, that's something that's controlled by your auto drive system. Your body's don't think about it, we'll just get it done. Backup drives the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about stretching and how we can override those backup systems to force our muscles, to force our bodies to extend and be more flexible. Because if you've already seen my what happens when you stretch video, where it's animated and I talk about all the different aspects of stretching and the science of what happens in your muscles when you stretch. If you've watched that, you already know about sarcomere, myofibrils, and all of that stuff. So I'm not going to go over that today. If you don't know about that, go back and watch that video. I'll put a link to it with this one. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use our breath. So there's a back door, as a keyboard, to access the secret codes inside of our muscles that allow them to extend further. Now, there's this really awesome breath system by a guy named Wim Hof, and his nickname is the Iceman, which is pretty cool because he uses this breath system to control his autonomic nervous system to allow him to control his body temperature and take extremely long ice baths and hike up the Himalayan mountains in shorts and flip-flops. So the power of breathing is proven. It's incontrovertible. And we're going to utilize breathing to allow us to stretch further. Now, Wim Hof teaches to perform 30 deep breaths, where you breathe in deeply, then breathe out about halfway in sort of a dynamic but relaxed motion. What this does is it flushes out a lot of the carbon dioxide from your system, packs in oxygen into your cells, and does a lot of other stuff that is not fully researched, but beneficial to both staying underwater and stretching. So you do this breath 30 times. Okay? And once you've done this 30 times, you hold your breath out without breathing in. Now, if you're doing the Wim Hof system, what he'll have you do is do this set 3 times. Hold your breath out as long as you can. Then breathe in and hold your breath in as long as you can. And then you can breathe normally. And after the 3rd set, you breathe out, hold your breath for as long as you can, and start doing push-ups. Now, generally, I start to burn after about 10 push-ups, and after 15, my muscles get a bit shaky, and I can push myself to 20 before my muscles get really sore. I don't do a lot of push-ups. But I started doing Wim Hof breathing, and after 30 breaths, holding my breath out, without breathing, I managed to do 30 relatively good push-ups without even feeling sore. Then I did 30 more breaths, and I did 30 more push-ups without breathing, and again, I wasn't sore at all. It inhibited the release of lactic acid in my muscles, so that I could theoretically have done several hundred push-ups almost in a row using this system. So how can this help with stretching and flexibility? Well, a lot of the same things, the release of lactic acid in your muscles, inhibit the extension of those muscles. They keep the sarcomere pulled together, the myofibrils, from separating. So what we're going to do is perform 30 of those deep breaths. Hold your breath out, and then begin a stretch. You feel the tension in that stretch. Then maintaining that stretch, you're going to breathe in. Now, believe it or not, as you breathe in, the stretch will become more challenging and tighter. You're going to hold that in as long as you can, and then you're going to breathe out into the stretch. Now, there's a very close similarity to this Wim Hof breath stretch and PNF stretching, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation stretching, which I did another video on, and I'll link that to this as well. I highly recommend you watch it because it's another great way to improve your flexibility. But it's closely related to this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, hold the breath, breathe out, and go into the stretch. Breathe in and hold the breath, pull yourself into the stretch, and breathe out and relax into the stretch. Breathe in, hold your breath, pull yourself into the stretch, and then breathe out and hold the stretch and go a little bit further if you can. Now, it's important to keep in mind that when you're stretching, it should never be painful. If you feel actual pain, like something's about to rip, or something's burning, or you have to go, ooh, ooh, ah, ee, then you should stop and not go that far yet. You need to work to it slowly and steadily. That's what this is all about. If you throw yourself into a stretch dynamically with momentum, you could easily rip your muscles and ligaments and then not be able to stretch well for a very long time. So you may ask yourself, how long should I hold these stretches for? How long should I hold my breath for? How long should I breathe out for? Initially, the 30 deep breaths should take about 45 seconds to a minute. You hold your breath out as long as you can. Now don't hold it until you turn blue. Hold it until you feel the urge to breathe, then breathe in. Hold until you feel the urge to breathe, and then breathe. So we're not going to torture our bodies here. Now after you've done this, and you've gained what flexibility you're going to gain from it in that day, we're going to do what's called a 3-5-3-5-3 breathing system. So you're going to go into your stretch. You're going to take 3 of those deep Wim Hof breaths. 3 of those. Breathe out, hold it, breathe in, hold it for 5 seconds. So 3 breaths, hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe regularly. 3-5. Do it again. 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. Hold it for 5 seconds. Mississippis are a good thing to have in there. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and then breathe regularly. 3-5, 3-5, 3. And that's a good length to hold any stretch for. Then move on to another stretch and do the same thing. And it never hurts to go back and do the same stretch again after you've done some other stretches. So what exactly is this breath doing? Your breath is sort of like a computer code or a back door into your muscles. So we're utilizing the breath to control the muscles. In martial arts, we do this all the time. Whenever we key up, when we breathe out, audibly, when we throw a strike, that's us forcing our muscles to relax using breath cues. So we're using the breath as a system to trigger the muscles into doing what we want them to do, into using their programming. There's so many different systems of breathing and the ways to apply those specific breaths into body control. And Wim Hof is one of them that I really like. It's a great one. We use versions of them in other martial arts. There's Tibetan monks who do a special breath meditation that channels heat through the body and tenses and relaxes muscles in ways that generate lots of heat so they can sit for hours in the top of the Himalayan mountains in their bathing suits meditating. And right now I want to focus on how we can use breath for stretching. And this system that I've just described is one of the most useful that I found and has given me some of the best results. So if you have any questions, please leave them in your comments. If there's anything that's unclear, I'm happy to clarify it. Please don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. Check out the other videos on my YouTube channel. Ring the little bell to get notifications for upcoming videos. And have an awesome day. And don't forget, with stretching, consistency is key. If you stretch one time and then never do it again, it's not going to do you much good. It needs to be every day. You don't have to stretch the same muscle every day, but you need to stretch every day.